Panther Nation, welcome back to the show that connects you with TIS Athletics. And it's Coach Selman and Coach Garnes here. Coach, it's been a heck of a year.
It has, for sure.
We back in our shades, one of our first shows, right? We had the prime shades, and I actually went out and got the prime shades.
Yeah, I got to get the primes still. I got to get those.
These are awesome, man, and they help with the brightness. And,
for sure.
We got to wear shades, Coach, because the future is just so bright. You know what I'm saying?
For
sure. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are still an item.
Still going strong.
We talked about that a couple times in the show. He's in the off season now, but going to the concerts all over the world.
Yep.
That's going real great.
For sure.
It's been another good season, good year of TIS Athletics.
Absolutely. And like you said, the future is bright, so we hopefully continue the trend of growing and getting better as a school all around.
Absolutely. Coach, speaking of bright, we have a new title to add to our resumes.
Absolutely.
To our names, to the school.
Yes, sir.
The first in school history. There were a couple of firsts, and I'm going to get to the big prize right here.
Right in front
If you can't see it, Panther Nation, we won the state title in girls basketball.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And this has been sitting in my office, and we just can't stop staring at it, Coach. I mean, it just seems unreal, but, it's real.
It is. It definitely is.
And we'll get to that because that's the big enchilada here today.
Absolutely.
But the other first in girls basketball history was winning the Central Plains League for the first time in school history. Coach, talk a little bit about, this whole experience. Starting out, kind of didn't know much about our team. We knew we were talented. We knew how things rolling.
Right.
We were going to roll. But we ended up doing things that had never been done in school history.
Absolutely.
How's that feel, man?
It feels good. Like you said, understanding what we had, we knew we had a shot. We knew we had a chance. We knew what our expectation was on the season, which was to accomplish all the things that we did accomplish. But to see it come together, it's crazy. Still, I can't even find the words to describe the feeling. I'm just extremely proud because, we kept the main thing, which was us playing together, sticking together. We knew all along that nobody could mess up this ride other than us. So, through all the ups and downs, for us to be able to stick together and band together and finish the job was incredible. And I'm more than proud of those girls.
Coach, and I'm proud of you.
I appreciate it.
I'm proud of the girls. I'm proud of our program. I'm proud of our athletics, but I'm proud of you. We've been through our struggles in other places.
Yeah, absolutely.
We both landed and ended up here at the independent school, and it's changed our trajectory.
For sure.
Winning championships was far-fetched years ago when we were in another place, which we won't name that place.
Absolutely.
But this has been a great opportunity, experience to grow, develop, and I've seen you do that over the years.
Yep.
Your maturity from year one to year two, how you handle yourself on the sideline, even through adversity and bad calls and things that don't go all the way. But I've seen you grow and mature in this coaching profession, and that's just been great for me to see.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's, for me, it's just one of those things. It's, you preach that so much with your players, with your athletes. You have to practice it as well, And my biggest thing, especially coming back from last season's heartbreaking loss in the state tournament, my biggest thing was to make sure if I'm going to be on the girls about improving in the off season, to make sure that we are as a coaching staff improving and getting better and growing as well. So And we're going to continue to do that. You know, we're proud of what we did this year, but we got a lot more at stake.
You know, and you're right. And Dodge City was an amazing experience
For sure.
for all of us. We had a great group of fans, parents that came up.
Absolutely.
The band came up the first night. And I think was really instrumental and gave us good energy to go and close out Hillsborough.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that was a close game.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I think that was probably the toughest game when you think about the overall talent on their team, how well coached they are. I thought that was our toughest opponent going in game one. So the fan and the crowd support and the energy. We had a little bit of a student section there that showed out. Definitely gave us energy in a game where there was a lot of nerves, a lot of jitteriness between our girls, and we knew it going into that first game. But like I said, that fan support really helped us pull through and win a close, low-scoring game.
Yeah, you know, and it was a game of runs, just as basketball is.
Absolutely.
Right? One team will, you know, go ahead, go on that little 8-0 run, and it'll turn, and then the momentum, it just went back and forth the whole game.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we made enough plays to close out that game.
For sure.
And Hillsborough has a rich tradition.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right? A rich tradition of state championships, going to the state tournament. And for us to go in there with a very young team, Coach, and pull off and do what we did was amazing.
Yeah, and you know, I want to give you, you know, your credit as well, because you're definitely deserving. You know, you're a large part of, you know, why the programs are heading in the directions they are. But you know, you think about the schedule we had this year. That was much better than when we first got here, and the adversity that the girls have to go through and face this year. I thought that kind of was an advantage of ours going into the tournament when you kind of look at other teams' schedules, and you know their scores and the outcomes of their games. Not many teams went through what we went through, so I felt like we could use that to our advantage in those close games situations, in those end of game situations. And I thought, you know, that was huge for us. So we definitely appreciate you and your efforts.
Absolutely, and it's just great to be part of it. You know, it was an amazing experience. You know, and then we go into round two, beat a tough, undefeated St. Mary's Colgan team who gave us a nice run there for a little bit. But the championship game was the icing on the cake, right, Coach? Riverside put us out last year in our first ever experience at the state tournament. And it just seemed fitting and natural that we would see them for another opportunity to play them in the state championship game. You know, and they have an amazing couple players. Yeah, they do. You know, the tall girls, Weischer, was a force. Taylor did her thing. But our girls just played in that third quarter. You know, you go on a 20-4 run in a quarter, and it was huge.
That was huge.
And it set the stage for us to go on and win that game by 19 points.
Yeah, we talked, and typically the third quarter all season has kind of been our worst quarter. For whatever reason, we typically come out of halftime and don't have the same bounce that we had in the first half, whatever the case may be. So, you know, we talked during that game, went to halftime, made the adjustments that we thought we needed to make. And, you know, we just kind of left them with, you know, all season long, the third quarter has been our worst. And, you know, there's no better opportunity than right now for it to be our best quarter. And, you know, the girls listened and they went out and executed to perfection, man. That was huge.
It was huge. And if you listen, you know, I've gone back and I've watched the broadcast of the game probably 20 times, you know. And they talk so well about our coaches, our fans, our players. And I heard them say several times, this team is only losing one senior.
Right.
They're young. They're led by a group of freshmen, sophomores. And when we talk about why we're wearing the shades, Coach, the future is so bright.
It definitely is.
You know, you have all these young players coming back next year, right? And then you have a group of 8th grade girls who won the Central Plains League, regular season tournament championships back to back, coming in. So you can only sit here and think about what the success can look like in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's a good chance, Coach, we could go, if things line up correctly, on a
Right.
major run that hasn't been seen here in the state of Kansas in some time.
Absolutely. It's just about consistency, you know, coming in, understanding what we're trying to do and what we're trying to build as a culture. And, you know, we feel very strong that if everyone buys in, again, no one can mess this up besides us.
Right.
You know, so it's all hands on deck. It's the athletes, it's the coaches, it's the fans, the parents. You know, it's all hands on deck for us to take this where we want to take it to.
Absolutely. And the support is widespread.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, think about the send-off.
That was legit. That was awesome.
You know, we had the whole school send us off. We
Yeah.
had a little rally before we got on the bus. And that energy our school gave us, and our staff and our teachers and everybody who was there, parents,
Yeah.
board members, admin.
Yep.
I mean, that just led the way.
It did. It definitely did.
It was the charge we needed to get on the bus and know we got the support of our community behind us.
Absolutely.
And went out there and took care of business. And then when you get to the game and you look in the stands and you see parents,
Yeah.
grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins of our players and coaches,
Teachers,
staff, right? Admin, board members. I mean, you know, all kinds of people were there to
Sure.
support us and made that trip to Dodge City. And that was just made it even more special that we could bring this championship back home
Absolutely.
and put this hardware in our trophy case.
Yeah. The team is definitely starting to embrace the community. You know, we love their support. We love everything they do for us and bring to the table for us. So we really saw a turn and start to see the girls start to really take pride. And, you know, not only us as a program, but the school and the community in itself. So,
Absolutely.
man, they're growing, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah, and man, it's just going to be really, really great to see what happens over the next course of a few years.
Absolutely.
So, Panther Nation, we have a championship recognition set up for our girls basketball team
Yeah.
next Friday, March the 29th, in the upper school gym at 10 a.m. We're going to recognize our team. We're going to hang the panel in the rafters, in the gym, on the record board.
Yeah.
Our girls are going to jump up on the ladder and cut down some nets, and our coaches.
Yep.
And Coach, you know, I told some of the girls and managers the other day, because I'm a little concerned,
We got to practice.
and we got to practice and run this through.
We gotta
Because,
practice.
you know, you can fall off a ladder.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so we're gonna have somebody holding the ladder, but we're gonna practice and make sure the girls and the managers and coaches know what they're doing, which net to cut. We're gonna rehearse that so it's ready to go. But Friday, March 29th, Panther Nation, parents, board members, alumni, students, anybody else that's part of the TIS community, we want you at this event, 10 a.m. Friday, March 29th, to come celebrate the state championship team. History.
Yeah.
So let's just talk a little bit about individual players, Coach.
Okay.
Because we did win some accolades and some recognitions this year.
Yeah.
Central Plains League honors. Zoe Buckner Franklin and Steffi Solomu, both first team all conference players.
Yeah.
Dina Holmes had a great year. I mean, she grew this year.
Huge.
She's growing in length,
Yeah.
but her knowledge of the game and what she brought to the team this year compared to last year, leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
She was a second team player,
For sure.
conference this year,
Mm-hmm.
right? Freshman, Kiesha Allen.
Yeah.
You know, she, night in and night out, Coach, guarded the other team's best player.
Yep.
Most nights.
She took on that challenge. She wanted that challenge. You know, we trusted her with that challenge every single night.
And for you to say I trust a freshman to go out there and guard junior, senior, somebody's best player, says a lot about her as a player, person, and taking on that challenge.
Absolutely. It goes back, you've heard the saying that you can't teach heart, you can't teach effort, you can't teach dog, you can't teach that type of mentality. And she has that. She's always had that as long as I can remember her playing. So, and trust will always be there, just knowing her mentality.
For sure. And she was voted by the coaches as an honorable mention for the Central Plains League team this year as a freshman. And then, to top it off, Coach, you were named Central Plains League Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Deservingly.
Yeah.
I mean, you went through the league, you were undefeated.
Right.
You won the first title, CPL title in league school history. You won a state title, you won a sub-state title. They can't take that away from us or you. And that's why I'm proud of you, Coach, because I've seen from where we came from to where we are, and for you to be named Coach of the Year meant a whole lot to me.
Yeah, it's humbling for sure. It's an amazing experience, and even at the meeting when I was voted Coach of the Year, the coaches around the league were very supportive and showed their appreciation towards us and our program and the direction it's going, and wished us well going into state. So it's awesome. It's an honor. I'm excited to build towards it again. And also, I want to add in that Zoe as well was Player of the Year.
Player of the Year. That's right.
Yep.
Good notice on that. Zoe Buckner Franklin was the Player of the Year, and the recognitions aren't done. Right, because there's statewide recognitions for 2A, all Metro, all state teams. Yep. Right, and some of those things are yet to be determined, but we feel very good about our chances of our players and coach being put up for those recognitions as well.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, this is just great, Coach. It was, again, an awesome experience. It's an awesome year.
Yep.
And we just look forward to what's in store next.
Absolutely. And like you said, just to kind of piggyback, extremely proud of these individual awards and accolades, but we understand that it doesn't get done without the team season that we had, the team accomplishment, which was, like you said, league champs, sub-state champs, and ultimately state champions. So we're going to always keep that first. Trying to bring home a title, and then obviously with that type of winning and those accomplishments, this stuff comes with it. So,
and it's not only players, coaches, right? You had some amazing managers.
Absolutely.
Sean Wynn, Amelia Bootsma, Hallie Leba, behind the scenes did so much, right? To make this happen as well. Maybe not, sweat and blood and tears on the court. And practice and playing surfaces, but time was put in when you don't see, so we should acknowledge them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They help out a ton, in-game preparation, pre-game preparation, the post-game pickups, having everything ready and set out. They take a load and allow me and the coaching staff to focus on that more so than others outside things, you know what I mean? So they deserve a lot of recognition.
And you talk about them too, and you talk about your, not the ones that got recognized for individual accolades, but you had players that played roles on the team.
Absolutely.
Maybe not got all the minutes, but provided an amazing amount of energy. I think about Bailey Fouquet. Ayana Williams.
Absolutely.
On the sidelines, yelling and screaming and giving instruction to their teammates.
It all goes to the buy-in. That's what we talk about when we talk about when you come and you have to buy in. That is the stuff. I've talked to Ayana, I've talked to Bailey, talked to Quincy, I've talked to the other players that have not been recognized, but just to stress how important they were. I watched film. We told the team, bench, I need you echoing what I say. I need you screaming for the team to get back after a shot attempt. And you just see the energy on the bench. It helps. It helps a ton. And it's not a fun place to be in. Of course, everybody wants to be on the court. But that buy-in is truly what separates good from great.
Yeah.
And I think we're headed towards great. Obviously everything stays in line, everyone stays healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're headed towards great.
Absolutely.
We're going to work towards that for
and,
sure.
You got another freshman, Chelsea Del Moro.
Absolutely.
I mean, she had to play some tough minutes in the state championship game, when I think Dina or Steffi got in foul trouble a little bit.
Right.
And you could see her growth as a freshman.
Yep.
And so, we just talk about, again, the future's bright, and so we got to wear shades.
Absolutely.
All right, Panther Nation, we appreciate your support. First in history, state championships, girls basketball, Kansas 2A. State champs. Good job, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Same to you.
All right, Coach, it's spring sports season.
Yes, sir.
It's a lot going on. We're in our first week of spring sports competitions.
Yeah.
They've been working hard out there in practices over the last few weeks. And some of our players are coming right out of winter sports, going right into spring sports.
Absolutely.
Not skipping a beat. Took spring break off, and now they're back out doing amazing things again for the spring sports season. Right? So this year in our spring sports, Coach, we have baseball, which are out there in some new, fresh
they geared up.
Adidas uniforms, Adidas hats.
Yep.
I mean, a couple new sets.
Yep.
Thanks to the Athletic Booster Club.
For sure.
We got to give the Booster Club a shout out.
Yep.
They're always supportive of us looking good out on there and having a good product.
Absolutely.
Because like Prime said, you look good, you play good.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so shout out to the Booster Club who has all of our teams out there looking fresh now.
For sure. Shout out.
And I don't know if we mentioned this in a show, but we are now officially an Adidas school.
Yep. Absolutely.
Contract signed. We'll be in Adidas gear for the next 5 years at least.
Yep. There's
amazing benefits. I mean, we rep it anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
And we have been.
Yep.
Even, back in the day, we
was
repping Adidas.
For sure.
But we have that deal. And, it's hard to get a company like that, shoe company, to come in and look at a school and say, we want our brand on your athletes.
Absolutely.
So that's an amazing accomplishment for our sports programs. But back to sports, baseball. 6 games in 1 week, Coach.
That's tough.
I mean, they got like 11 or 12 players. Everybody's chipping in on the pitching.
Yeah.
They had the East High Invitational this week.
Okay.
Then they went to Sedgwick and had a game like on a day's rest. Kingman. And then they have another one this coming weekend, another doubleheader. That's a hard haul.
That's and then you think about the season just starting,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got spring break week right in the middle of the start of your season.
Yeah.
You got winter athletes coming from their winter sport. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's tough, So this shout out to the boys. I know they've been consistent. Their numbers are growing on that program. So just appreciate them for not using this as an excuse and continuing to work and try to get better.
Absolutely. Softball is in its, we brought it back last year, moving into another season.
Yep.
They're getting ready to go, and they'll be rolling out next week with their first game next Friday against West Elk here at the Panther field, softball field.
We coming out of retirement?
Man, you know it.
Okay.
You know it. I'll be there announcing.
Yes, sir.
DJ E. Weezy will be back spinning the tracks.
I'm back.
And we had an amazing time last year
Oh yeah. Sure.
announcing the softball games. We look forward to doing that again. Girls swim. They took off this week and are in Topeka, went to Topeka.
Gotcha.
Competing hard. And they got a good swim team led by a great coach, Katie Idbase, who's been here for some years.
Yep.
And they're rolling. They get up at 5 a.m, Coach, to go
Everyone.
practice swimming.
Yep, for sure.
That's dedication.
Yeah, that's discipline too.
I mean, 5 a.m, jump in that cold water and go swim.
Yes, sir.
You
Then
know,
go to class.
You go to class, go all day. That's tough. Track and field. You know, they got their first meets coming up. You got middle school track going to Chaparral next week for their first action. And you got upper school track is going to Ottawa.
Got you.
And they got some runners out there. I've been out there running, watching them.
Yep.
And they got good numbers.
Yeah, their numbers are growing as well.
Yeah. Boys tennis, boys tennis. You got middle school boys. They're kicking off this week with a meet. Upper school boys got next week going to Heston.
Got you.
That's in full bloom.
Yeah.
Girls soccer. I mean, they went out and I mean, it was amazing to watch them the other night. 8-0.
Did Leah have 5 goals?
She had 5 goals, coach. And you know what they call that? If you score 5, it's incredibly rare to do.
Yeah.
A huge accomplishment.
Uh-huh.
But if you get 5 goals in a soccer game, it's called a glut.
I didn't know there was anything past hat trick.
Yeah, so there's one for 4.
Okay.
There's one for 5.
God.
Yeah, there's one for 6. And I think, if I'm right, Leah Hung did this like 2 or 3 times in the games last year.
I believe so.
You know, she signed a letter of intent to go to Bethel College.
Yep.
She did her signing in the foyer area, and everybody was there. It was an awesome experience to see her sign.
Her.
And our athletes are signing letters of intent to go to college.
Absolutely.
I mean, that shows growth in your program and shows, success.
Yep.
When you see young people signing that dotted line and going to college to continue their career.
That's what it's about at the end of the day. You know, we want to get kids to where they want to go to. Whatever that may be. So Bethel's getting a really good, not only soccer player, but a really good student.
Absolutely, and a good person.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and then, Coach, we're bringing back golf.
Yep.
I haven't researched this, and maybe I need to. When was the last time we had golf at the independent school? But
Boys
we don't.
Or girls?
I don't know. That's something that I need to go back to the archive and look up, dig up in some history. But we're bringing it back this year, and not only just one golfer, or 2 golfers. We have a team of 4.
Okay.
We got Oliver Selman is out there.
Sir.
I mean, never golfed before. You know, he out there with the golf clubs trying. Never did it. You got Hezekiah.
Hezzy's out there?
Hezzy's out there.
Oh, man.
You know, coming off the
Fresh
wrist
off
injury. Right?
Yep.
He's out there.
Okay.
Dr. Drew.
Andrew. He does a little bit of everything.
Andrew Nelson, who's, just was at state competing for bowling.
Mm-hmm.
And golf is his jam.
Yeah, I think he jumped into golf so he didn't have to play me in my bowling.
He didn't want to see you?
Yeah, he ain't ready to see
I
me.
agree.
So I let him have his golf season. And I guess we'll push the match back to the summer.
Summertime. Yeah, I think that'd be good. And then Christian LeBron.
Got you.
Is our so you
all
got
freshmen?
all freshmen.
Yeah, all freshmen.
All freshmen, Coach. Chris Santoya, Coach Santoya, who was our assistant basketball coach, took on the responsibility of coaching these young fellas. Yeah, and shout out to Miss Atherley and her brother, who have helped us tremendously with, finding places to go and have practice and hit the ball and get better.
Absolutely.
And so it's just been a tremendous amount of support for golf coming back here. And it's going to be so great to see those guys out there. Give it a try. Yeah. But, I mean, over 3-4 years with reps, Coach, they could be state champions.
No, for sure. And it's just it's a fun, peaceful sport, man. I love going to golf. I especially love going to the hitting range and being able to hit with the driver.
Yep.
So I think those guys will enjoy it, and hopefully they stay with it.
Yeah, I think they will. They seem to like it. The coach is good. There's support there. And I just look forward to big things from golf. Not only golf, but all of our sports this spring.
Sure.
It's going to be an awesome year. And I look forward to being out there on the diamond with you next week on Friday, announcing the softball game.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
All right. Good job. Let's go, spring sports. Thanks for joining us on the Panther Nation show with Coach Selman and Coach Garnes, the show that connects you with TIS athletics. We'll see you back here next week. Go Big Blue.